Yes, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again.
Greetings, baseball fans, and welcome to the Suicide Squeeze Baseball Show here on the Fireball Review channel. Well, the most exciting day of the year has arrived. It is opening day throughout Major League Baseball. Hope springs eternal for all 30 teams. And after the absolute shit show that was 2020, excuse my language, hopefully my mother is not watching this video, we are looking ahead, hopefully, to much better and brighter days in 2021. But be that as it may, Scar has taken over the Pride Lands, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are the World Series champions. We can't do anything about that. But can anybody beat these guys? I think they can. So let's get into some predictions, shall we? So rolling out first in the American League East, I think this division is the Yankees to win or lose. They have a great pitching staff. Garrett Cole is the best pitcher in baseball, along with Jacob deGrom, of course. I would give anything to live in New York and to see these guys pitch this year. It should be incredibly exciting. They've added Kluber to the rotation. The big question with the Yankees is, can the offense stay healthy? I mean, Stanton, this guy is an imposing figure. He looks like a sort of a sculpture, like he's like a Greek god, but the guy gets hurt constantly. He gets hurt making a ham sandwich at lunch in the clubhouse. It's unbelievable. I don't know why this guy can't stay healthy. It's a very sad situation for the Yankees. But be that as it may, I think they have enough offense to carry the load. Aaron Judge is obviously one of the best players in baseball, and their bullpen is very stout, and it should be ready to go. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay might give them a run for their money. They still have a lot of young talent there. Rizarena this is his first full year. You wouldn't have known it based on the way he played in the playoffs, but will be his first full year in the league. So Tampa Bay will still be strong, but they've lost, of course, Blake Snell, which is a really sad situation for them. And quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I don't trust the Rays manager, Kevin Cash. This man should be arrested for crimes against humanity, for taking Blake Snell out of Game 6 of the World Series and causing the Dodgers to go on and win the World Series. Who the hell knows what would have happened had he left Snell in there? They probably win Game 6, and who knows what happens in Game 7. Maybe we could have been spared the reality that we're facing today. But be that as it may, Tampa Bay comes in second. They compete for a wild card. I also think Toronto will compete for a wild card. They'll come in third. Maybe the Red Sox sneak in there, but I think they're another year away, and Baltimore, just forget about it.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, moving over to the AL Central, I think this is a two-dog fight between the Chicago White Sox and the Minnesota Twins. The Minnesota Twins have lost 18 straight playoff games. I did not misspeak just now. Yes, they have lost 18 straight playoff games. It might not matter this year because I think the White Sox are going to overtake them for this division. They've added some veteran arms to go with their young talent that they've acquired on the south side. I think they defeat the Twins this year. The Twins come in second. They compete for a wild card. Everyone else in the division is just sort of going through the motions. Kansas City's getting a little bit better. I think the Indians are in for some dark days ahead, and the Tigers are still a few years away, but the White Sox win this division. So moving over to the American League West, one of the reasons why I have a much better outlook, a much more positive outlook going into the 2021 season is because I know, most likely, we are not going to see a team that finishes 2 games under 500 in the regular season, which is what we saw last year in the fiasco regular season of that 60-game schedule that we saw. We're not going to see a team finish 2 games under 500 and get 1 game away from the World Series. That's what we saw last year with the Houston Astros. And don't get me wrong, these guys were much better than their record indicated, but that can't ever happen in baseball history again. But I think the Astros still have enough veteran leadership there to carry them to this division. The A's are going to give them a run for their money. They're still a strong team. You can never sleep on the A's. They just always seem to wet the bed when they get into the playoffs. We'll see what happens. I think they'll definitely compete for a wild card. They still have a very strong starting pitching staff. And the Angels, who the hell knows? I quit trying to figure out what these guys are doing and where they're going to finish. I mean, you can pretty much bet that 3/5 of the rotation is going to be probably on the injured list by the time we get to 4th of July. It's like you just expect it at this point. I mean, Ohtani, who knows what's going to happen. If he can just give him like 20 starts, I'd be thrilled. But he had a great spring training, so we'll see what happens. But I still think the Angels are a third-place team. They should have got Trevor Bauer. I know maybe he wasn't worth the money he got, but they still should have got him. They needed him. I wish they'd have got Garrett Cole. I mean, forget Bauer. They should have got Garrett Cole the year before last. But I don't want to go into an Angels rant. This is a Major League Baseball predictions video. I'm putting my fandom aside for a moment. And I think the Angels will come in third. Maybe a wild card. We'll see. Maybe a wild card, but I doubt it. 4th place, I think it's going to be the Rangers. And in 5th place, it will be the only team that has never made a World Series appearance. I don't think it's going to be happening this year, Mariners fans. Seattle comes in dead last. So moving over to the National League, you guys know I am a fan of an American League team, but I think the American League is over here in the corner doing addition and subtraction tables. Meanwhile, there are 4, 5, 6 National League teams that are over there doing long division or pre-algebra. These guys are on another level. I might throw the Yankees in there out of the American League, but for the most part, this is the National League's year. And let's start off with, I think, probably the toughest division in all of baseball, the NL East. Now, a convenient whipping boy this offseason for every single Dodger hater out there has been Kevin Cash, of course, and rightfully so. But don't let it go unknown that the Atlanta Braves had a 3-1 series lead in the NLCS against the Los Angeles Dodgers last year, and they just completely squandered it away. A ton of mental mistakes, defensive mental mistakes, and just a lack of veteran leadership there. And give credit to the Dodgers, because great teams capitalize on stupid mistakes, and the Braves made a lot of stupid mistakes in that NLCS the last 3 games. They've added some veteran leadership to the clubhouse. Charlie Morton is, I think, one of the most underrated pitchers in baseball. He's in that rotation now, a good young rotation. They've added Smiley into the fold. I think the Braves edge out the Mets, who had a great offseason. These guys are going to be very good. They just signed Lindor to an extension. People in Cleveland are crying in the streets. It's a horrible situation. I think the Mets will come in second. The Nationals are pretty strong. I think the Phillies and Nationals will battle it out for 3rd place. Maybe one of those teams gets the second wild card. I'll get to that in a minute. And I think in 5th place, the Marlins had a heck of a year last year, but they sort of were able to capitalize on the short season, and I think they will come in, they'll take a step back and come in 5th position. Now, oddly enough, the National League Central is very much like the American League Central. I think it is a 2-horse race between the St. Louis Cardinals. Of course, the Cardinals are always in the mix. It is always a safe bet. When you don't know who to pick in the National League Central, just go ahead and pick the Cardinals, because they're always consistently good. They always consistently make the playoffs, and that's all you can ask for as a baseball fan. And I think they will win the division with Arenado. They've added this man. He is a very dangerous man. He will be loved and appreciated in St. Louis. Not that he wasn't appreciated in Colorado, but he will be a god in St. Louis. I think these guys win the division. It's going to be very close between them and the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers have a hell of a team. I think they come in second, though. In 3rd place, taking sort of a step back. I was very high on the Reds last year. I'm not as high on them this year as I was in 2020. I think they come in 3rd place and sort of take a step back. In 4th place, it's going to be the Cubbies. You know, the Cubbies, when they finally broke through and won that World Series, you kind of thought with that team that they might go on a stretch and win 2 or 3 World Series, and it just sort of hasn't happened. But, they still have that beautiful memory of finally breaking through and winning that World Series, and they still have the best stadium in all of baseball. Wrigley Field is a national treasure. I think they come in 4th place, though, unfortunately, and the Pirates are just a hot mess.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, over in the National League West, you have 2 mega teams right there. You have the mighty Dodgers, who are the reigning World Series champions. We can do nothing about that now. But everyone's saying that these guys are going to set every record known to man. They are the greatest team ever. They are the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're going to win like 162 games in the regular season and just blow the doors off of everyone. And they are damn good. Trevor Bauer, the mighty have gotten mightier with Trevor Bauer. He's a great pitcher. He's going to aid the Dodgers in their quest to repeat as champions. No team has repeated as champions since the Yankees won a three-peat back in 2000. It's been over 20 years now, and the Dodgers will be attempting to do that in 2021. I think the Dodgers are going to win this division, but let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Don't sleep on the San Diego Padres. They are going to be there. They're going to be on the Dodgers' heels. They're going to be all over these guys like a bum on a bologna sandwich. And I hope they catch them. Let me tell you something. The Padres and the city of San Diego has a special place in my heart. I am an Angels fan, but the Padres have always been sort of my National League team. And it is great to see them have such a great offseason, adding Snell and extending Tatis. He is such an exciting player. And the city of San Diego, they deserve a championship. These guys lost their football team, which was just a tragedy. That was a crime against humanity in itself. They lost the great Tony Gwynn, he was my favorite player as a small little lad. I loved to watch that guy hit. He was a treasure. And they have those cool brown uniforms back, which I still think are the greatest uniforms in all of sports. The Padres are going to be right in the mix. They're definitely going to get one of the wild cards. Again, I'm going to get to that in a little bit. I think the Padres come in second place. In third place, I think it's going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks, pretty strong team. I was really high on them last year. Obviously not as high on them this year. Really, anybody in that division for the most part. It is a two-horse race. Diamondbacks come in third. I think in fourth place, it is going to be the San Francisco Giants. And in fifth place, it will be the Colorado Rockies. So my prayers were answered this offseason. We will have no expanded playoffs this year, which will probably keep my Angels out of the playoffs. Nevertheless, they didn't make it last year when the playoffs were expanded, so that doesn't matter. But we will have two wild card teams in both the National League and the American League. In the American League, I think it's going to be the Oakland A's getting that top wild card spot. They will take on the Tampa Bay Rays, who will get the second spot. And I think the Rays, hopefully Kevin Cash makes no pitching snafus in that game, and I think the Rays will skate past the A's in that wild card game. And then over in the National League, it is going to be an epic matchup between the New York Mets and the San Diego Padres, and I think the Padres will get by the Mets in a squeaker. It's going to be an epic game between those two, and the Padres will go on to the division series. So in the first American League division series, we are going to have the top-seeded Yankees going up against the Tampa Bay Rays, and I think the Yankees will extract revenge on the Rays this time around. They had an epic series last year against Tampa Bay in the division series, but they will meet and defeat the Rays this year in 5 games. I think on the other end of the coin, you're going to have the White Sox going up against the Houston Astros, and I think the young White Sox will get past the Astros and sort of end their pseudo-dynasty, if you want to call it that, or whatever you want to call what the Astros have done over the past few years, and the White Sox will meet the Yankees in the ALCS. Now over on the varsity side, the National League will pit the top-seeded Dodgers against the San Diego Padres, and as much as I would love to go with my heart on this pick and pick the Padres to defeat the Dodgers, I just can't do it. I got to go with my head on this one. I think the Dodgers squeak by in the rematch against the Padres of last year's division series. The Dodgers take out the Padres in 5 games and advance to the NLCS once again. On the other side, I think the Mets are a better team than the Cardinals, but the National League sort of has an embarrassment of riches this year. They have too many good teams, if you ask me, and I think the Atlanta Braves will skate past the Cardinals. They will sweep the Cardinals in 3 games in that division series. So in the ALCS, I definitely like the Yankees in this series. They are a cut above everyone else in the American League, and even though the White Sox are a good up-and-coming team, and I could definitely see them in the World Series in the next few years, this is going to be the Yankees' year, at least in the American League. They will advance to the World Series, defeating the Chicago White Sox in 5 games. So in the National League Championship Series, you're going to have the greatest rematch since Rocky Balboa faced off against Apollo Creed in Rocky 2. You're going to have the Los Angeles Dodgers in one corner going up against the Atlanta Braves, the rematch of last year's epic NLCS matchup. And I know I know everyone is saying that the Los Angeles Dodgers are the greatest team ever assembled. You can't question these guys' greatness. You're a complete ass if you think anyone else is going to win the World Series this year. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I am an ass. A lot of people probably think I am. But be that as it may, I know one thing, folks. It is very, very hard in any sport, but especially baseball, to repeat as the world champion. It has not happened in over 20 years, and I don't think it's going to happen this year. I don't see it happening. I really don't. The Dodgers, Kershaw's getting a little bit older. You don't know how Bauer is going to blend in with this team. Who knows if the Dodgers are going to have some injuries. They have a lot of depth. And it wouldn't shock me if the Dodgers win it. It wouldn't shock me in the least bit. They have a great team. I picked the Dodgers to go to the World Series last year against Tampa Bay. I picked Tampa Bay to win the World Series at the beginning of last year. It didn't happen, but I think very highly of the Dodgers. They're a great team, but the Braves have added some veterans this year. They badly needed veterans in that series last year, and they were so close to defeating the Dodgers last year. They didn't do it. This year, I think they're going to do it. It's going to be a great series. It's going to be an amazing series. I would love to see a rematch between these two teams, but I think the Braves edge out the Dodgers in 7 games. So yes, I think the 2021 World Series will be a flashback to the 1990s. You're going to have the Atlanta Braves going up against the New York Yankees. Of course, these teams faced off in 3 World Series back in 1996, and then again in 1999, and then to start off the 2000s, they played each other. Yankees won all 3 of those World Series. It was a sad situation for the Braves, but the Braves will get their revenge this time. If they can beat the mighty Dodgers, they can beat the mighty Yankees, and the Atlanta Braves will win the 2021 World Series. I think. Most likely. We'll see. So now you've heard me bloviate enough. Now I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think is going to win the 2021 World Series? Can anybody beat the Dodgers? Can the Mets do it? Can the Braves do it? Can the Padres do it? Can the Yankees do it? Will it be another team? Will another team just come along and shock the world and do it? Let me know down below, and as always, hit that dislike button if you didn't like this video. Otherwise, happy opening day, guys. Take care.